Welcome back to the ESL CM Storm Arena and to Gamescom 2012. It is the final day of Gamescom 2012 and we are ready to rumble for match number 2 in the World of Warcraft European Invitational. So without further ado, here are the two teams. Ladies and gents, make some noise for Gold members. Gold members, come and join us. There we go. And they go head to head with a team called Just Being Honest. They were slightly more sprightly in coming out as well. Well done. Okay, Isaac is alongside me. Do you want to take it away? Which one are you going to pick first to interview?
All right, hey guys, so we're just going to bring over one player from each team. So the two players who want to be interviewed will step forward. I believe we have Botar and Tajin who are going to be giving the interview. So if you want to step over, if you're going to be giving the interview, yeah? Okay, well guys, you know, you're two teams which are newer to the scene. You haven't probably been seen at tournaments and everything, so you just want to start off, introduce yourself, say what you're playing, who you are.
Well, I didn't understand it.
If you just want to let everyone know what class you're playing, what your name is.
Yeah, I'm playing Shaman class. I'm the healer in the team. And I'm playing World of Warcraft Arena since release, so I'm very excited to be here.
Yep, all right, and I believe you are playing the Red Paladin, right, and Tajin?
Yeah, right. I'm the DK, Red DK Priest. Yeah.
Okay, guys, so how do you feel about this matchup? How do you feel your chances are? Do you think you should be able to take this?
Well, to be honest, I'm not that sure about this lineup because we've lost so many games already on the last TR where we could qualify for this tournament. But to be honest, in the last games, we just did was that lineup against another. For example, we did some war games today to practice, and it went pretty good. So I think we can really win, but we can lose as well. So we have to be careful.
So what is it that you really have to do right? What is it you can't mess up if you want to win this matchup?
Well, basically, it's all the time important to just survive the beginning, the start of the Red DK Priest, because normally they would just pop every TD and try to nuke something down, and if we survive that, and if the game lasts way longer, we can definitely take the game.
Yeah, so cooldown management, extremely important for your team. You know, obviously you don't want to give away too much, but who do you think is really the main kill target on their team? Who are you guys going for?
Well, to be honest, I think every single target can die. But most likely it's going to be the DK or Rat, because Priest is hard to reach, so I guess one of those two.
All right, well, thank you very much. Good luck, guys. A round of applause, and we will be hopping in this game pretty soon. But all right, so on the other side, what do you think it is? Like, do you guys feel pretty confident going into this? They said that they were doing some war games against another team running the same setup. Do you guys think that it's pretty even? Do you think that they have an advantage? You know, how are you feeling going into this matchup?
If we're not nervous, we should win, to be honest. But they're playing like double shaman, and they have like a hex, insta hex, which can't get this build. So basically, we have only one trinket, and yeah, what else? Yeah, nothing more. But they have like an advantage because they've been on a tournament before. So it's our first LAN today. Yeah.
Yeah, so nerves maybe going to be becoming a bit of a factor here. Playing on stage, obviously, it is a lot different than playing at home. But you know, once you're into the game, I'm sure you guys will be okay. What is it that you think you really have to do right in this matchup to be able to win?
Just coordinate everything. Coordination is like everything in WoW. Just, yeah, nothing.
All right, well, good luck, guys. The teams are ready. I'm going to throw it back to Red Eye, and we're going to hop right into this game.
Yes, thank you very much, Isaac. We'll let you scamper off to the commentary box. We're keeping him fit today because he's got to go between the stage and the commentary box. But once he's there and he's ready to rumble, we'll get the second matchup underway. Of course, just a reminder for you, you can join in with us via social media, twitter.com/ESL. You can also do it on Facebook as well if you want, facebook.com/Blizzard or /TheESL or /ESL TV. Any way you want to come and make some comments, we'll listen to you, we'll put them up on the post, and we'll interact with you via Twitter. Also, don't forget, #BCWWOW for the main tournament itself. And these guys, of course, are going for $30,000 and a chance to represent Europe in the global finals in Shanghai later in 2012. Let's see who goes through to the second matchup into the semi-final and throw it over to our wonderful commentary duo.
Hey guys, welcome back. So we are going to have a double Shaman Warlock team versus yet another Red DK Priest. I'm very excited to see a double Shaman Warlock, and I would never be excited to fight it though, because as we know, double shaman, they have that shock on a 5 or 6 second cooldown. They have double grounding, double tremor. So the fears coming out of our priest are almost going to be for nothing. There's going to be at least one tremor totem for every single fear, unless, you know, maybe they accidentally double tremor or something like that, but I doubt that would happen. So, but that's something interesting to note. Also, I don't know if you guys saw the very cool trophy up on stage with the little action figures. Actually, during our break, Azael decided it would be a good idea to open up the little box, play with the action figure. We were like, Azael, you can't do that. Like, that's for show. You have to put that back. And he's like, why?
I don't know what he's talking about. I'm going to deny everything.
No, it's a true story, guys. If you don't believe me, look carefully at his hands. You'll see that they're currently injured from opening the tough wrapper. I would not lie to you guys. I tell the truth.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. You know, there's not much we can count on Conrad for. But, you know, we are going to be moving along into this game pretty shortly. And as you said, the priest, obviously, fear is useless. Mind control, useless. You have to basically, in my opinion, just stay super far back. You want to stay out of range of the hex as much as you can. Even though there are instant hexes, it still does have that 20-yard range. So it's like, as a priest against this, you know that fear isn't going to accomplish anything. So you're just going to try to stay as far back as possible. Keep your team topped off. Play it more like a paladin would, where you're just playing kind of range game. And just trying to stay super far away from that enhancement shaman. You know, probably try to do it like that, but it'll be interesting to see what they're really going to attack. I think this Ret DK Priest probably going to want to try to connect to that Resto Shaman, but at the same time, the Warlock's a pretty good target. You can also take out down an enhancement shaman if he wastes some of his cooldowns as well. So I think it'll be pretty interesting. I think that we could see a lot of target swapping, but as the game goes on, it's going to get tough for the Ret DK Priest because, I mean, 2 hexes and a fear, you could have triple CC out at pretty much any time.
Yeah, it's true. And another interesting thing that you were saying is how you have to play it super far away. If you play it super far away, you won't be able to get shocked on cooldown. Yeah. Whereas if you're in their face, obviously the Resto Shaman, you know, it's actually cool. We have like a camera here so I can explain it with my hand and stuff. But the Resto Shaman will be able, or he'll probably be playing a little further back because he doesn't want to make himself able to be swapped to so easily. So because he'll be further back, the priest will be around 70 yards from him. And that's going to make it a lot easier to juke those shocks. But the penances, if the penances get interrupted too fast, the flash shield, stuff like that, this Ret DK Priest is going to be put so far behind. And as they said, they feel a little bit, when we talked to them earlier, they said that they were a little bit worried about the Ret DK Priest setup overall. But then they played some war games earlier, and it feels a little bit more in their favor than they had originally anticipated. And also an interesting to note, is that they don't have any automated scripts. So a lot of you guys have seen interrupt bar or play with interrupt bar. They don't have that. A lot of you guys have seen tournaments where players have had interrupt bar because they actually typed out the individual script for those cooldowns. They don't have that either. They're going strictly based on feelings.
Well, or, you know, you can be counting in your head and everything like that. It's like, you know, the thing is, obviously, in my opinion, it takes a lot more skill to be able to track all the things in your head rather than kind of have the add-ons do that for you. So it adds another dimension to the game. It kind of makes it a bit more taxing for the players competitively, which I do like. And the 2 players that we are going to be following in this match are Carva, the Rep Paladin from Gold members, and Swapsy, who is going to be that Warlock, I'm just being honest. So we're going to have first-person view. We can swap between those 2 players. I think it should be pretty interesting. And I mean, I'm especially interested to watch Swapsy. Obviously, we both play Warlocks, and it's fun to be able to see how the other players handle the matchups, how they're going to be able to deal with the pressure coming out of this Ret DK Priest, and is he really going to be able to do his job to the best of his ability, keep those dots up, do the amount of healing, the right amount of damage, and use his cooldowns at the proper times to be able to pull them to a victory.
Yeah, I actually feel a little bit bad for Swapsy because, as we know, most Warlocks really hate being commentated by us because Azael and I are both pretty high top-rated Warlocks. Azael's much better than I am, of course, but I have a few rank 1 titles, stuff like that. So every single time we watch these Warlocks, we're critical of them. Yeah. We think what they should do better, and we let people know.
Yeah, we are very critical, but I mean, the same thing is, at the same token, I'm very critical of myself as well. I'm sure you are of yourself, you know. One of the best ways to improve is to really watch you know, footage of yourself playing. Like when we were preparing for BlizzCon last year, we would fraps matchups, and then we would go through it as a team. And we'd kind of like say, okay, what can we do better here? What would have been a better use of this cooldown? Was our positioning the best? Things like that. And you really do have to think about the little things that you're doing right at this level. It's like it can be the tiniest changes that really are the difference between winning and losing a series. When all the players are this good, you can't always expect them to just make some glaring error or for the same strategy to work time after time.
Yeah, I agree. And I do want to talk a little bit about how people can get better. I agree, but also don't get angry at your teammates. A lot of people will blame their teammates when they lose. That's the worst thing. The best thing you can do, look inward. You know, look at what you yourself as a player can do just a little bit better, and then work on your teammates and help them get better.
Yep, definitely some nice advice there, but I think we are pretty much ready, guys. We're going to be hopping into the game as soon as we can, and it is going to be a best of 5 here at the World of Warcraft European Invitational Finals. We have 8 of the best teams battling it out for a $30,000 prize pool. Pretty sick. They chose the 8 captains. They were able to invite whatever teammates they wanted, and we're going to be starting on Swapsy, the Warlock. So this should be pretty interesting. It's the Warlock from that double Shaman Warlock team. Not something you really see very often. Obviously a very annoying team to fight against as a caster, but it's a 2 melee team. I don't think they're going to be super affected by it. And as you can see, we are showing the players here. This is a pretty nice setup. We have a lot of fans here. We're here at Gamescom in Cologne. There's just so much esports going on. There's SC2, there's LoL, there's WoW, there's all kinds of different tournaments. There's Firefall, etc., etc. So guys, if you are in Germany, come on down, check it out, say hi. We're very friendly. If you want to come say hi, we'll definitely chat with you.
That's a lie.
And we are live, man. So I think we are going to be jumping into the game. We can see we're going to be starting here on Blade's Edge. We're actually okay. We're going to. Oh, my mistake. So he's not the Warlock. He is going to be actually. We have it mislabeled. My mistake. It is going to be the enhancement Shaman we're falling out here, and he's going to throw that Frost Shock root down onto Intagion, that DK, and charge over onto Carva, that Ret Paladin. So it looks like that's who they're going to be starting on. We have the Searing Totem down, just kind of getting those stacks out right now.
Yeah, you can see they're trying to put pressure onto the DK. He has AMS available, and that is going to be super hard for them to do any damage into. There is a full Hex onto that Priest. So
but look at the DK, man, already down to 20k HP, has to pop that AMS. He's going to pop his trinkets as well. Botar going to be taking a ton of damage down to 30k. Oh, he spiked down to 10k HP. He may just have to link here because he is still dipping very, very low, but he is in Ghost Wolf trying to kite away. The link going down there. We can see that they do make a swap over onto Carva, who is taking quite a bit of damage. Going to be feared off as well there by the Warlock. Botar, though, still under a lot of pressure. The Wolves will be topped here, and Carva is in a lot of trouble. PS comes out. Are they going to be able to get another Hex here on the Priest?
They need to get that Hex, and they need to get it soon. But look at Botar. Botar dipping incredibly low at about 24k HP right now. A full fear onto his teammates. It was tremored. As we say, they have 2 tremor totems, so it's going to be so tough. But will they actually be able to peel for Botar at this moment? It looks like he may go down. He's down to about 15k right now. 21. He's getting picked back up, just trying to get away, but he will end up falling to this Ret DK Priest Cleave team.
Yeah, and even those 2 G heals, not enough there from Swapsy to be able to top him off, man. He was just throwing out G heals. He was trying to do everything he could to top his team back off, and I'm not sure if Hex is back up or not. Maybe they're going to have to use the Hexes a little bit more defensively or something like that. Just try to Hex the red off perhaps while you're training the DK, and just maybe wait to use the CC on the Priest later in the game, because the thing is, it's so important to shut down their damage during those cooldowns when you have the Gargoyle pop, when you have AMS getting all that extra runic power, spamming out the Death Coils. Obviously also when you have Wings and the Guardian popped as well. So it's really all about being able to live through those cooldowns. We heard them talking about that a bit in the interview, obviously feeling as long as they are able to live through those cooldowns, they could take the game. But in that series, in that match, they just weren't able to. The cooldowns were still up. They almost got through it, but NS was popped, Link was popped right after it, and he just really wasn't able to ever get away and top himself back off.
Well, you need to be very aware of who you want to actually throw that Hex on. We saw an early Hex onto the Priest, and then let them get a lot of offensive pressure going, and they had to use a little bit of cooldowns. But sometimes it's a little bit more worth it to throw that Hex onto a DPS. Maybe you can even force a trinket out of that, and that could help your team just a little bit more than trying to prevent some heals going.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's obviously you have to get Hexes on the Priest to secure the victory, but at the same time, it's just about focusing on living through those cooldowns early on. So maybe try to Hex the Red Paladin or the DK. You obviously have to be careful about it getting copied, but with the instant Hex from enhancement, you don't have to worry about that as much. So we do have, that kind of in the back of their mind, especially for the rest of Shaman. You don't want to get that Hex stolen by the DK with the Dark Simulacrum. So, if that does happen, it's going to be put back on you. And I guess they do have double E curse, so probably not that big of a deal still.
Yeah, well, we've actually seen so many games decided purely based on Death Knight stealing that Hex.
Yeah.
We commentate quite a few tournaments online, and one of my favorite Death Knights to commentate is Mez.
Yeah.
Because Mez is just so incredible at stealing Hexes. You can, you'll think he's about to steal a Hex, you'll be casting a Hex, and you'll fake it and try and give him something useless like water breathing or something like that,
yep.
and he won't use it. He always catches something so good, and when he fights Warlock teams, I've noticed he gets Halateras all the time.
He gets blinks and ice blocks against mages. He gets bubbles against paladins. And I mean, the thing is, most DKs don't really focus on using that well. It's not something that they really think about. And that's something is just something that can completely set your team apart. I even see him, a mage will be going for a deep into a Ring of Frost on his priest, and he'll steal the Ring of Frost and then like stun their healer and drop a Ring of Frost on them and full CC them and things like that. It's pretty insane. But just those little things can absolutely make a massive difference, guys. But the game is ready. We're hopping into game 2. We're going to be falling out Swapsy for now, but let's actually swap over to Carva, that Ret Paladin, and see how he's going to play this matchup. We will swap over to him as soon as we can, and we're going to be following him out. So we are now on Carva. This is the Ret Paladin from this Ret DK Priest. They did take game 1. Will they be able to force it to match point here in game 2?
Yeah, you can see that the reason why both teams are staying back right now is because they want the battle to be on their terms. That's the reason. The Shamans like their totem setup. They have 8 totems. I don't know if all 8 will be that effective, but not only that, the Shaman on that team, he's trying to stack Ancestral Vigor.
Yeah.
That's going to increase his health pool, mean he can't be trained for as long, and it's going to take a little bit longer.
I mean, I feel like it's maybe a little bit foolish for this Ret DK Priest to let them do that, because he's going to get full vigor on all of the teammates, and they're going to have that extra HP, which is just a big advantage. There's no advantage that this Ret Paladin team gets for sitting back. They're not stacking anything. They're not really gaining anything, and I feel like once Vigor is up full, we may just see this Warlock, move his port up a little bit and just start trying to basically harass a little bit and force them into coming out. But we will see exactly what they're going to do. For now, Carva is just kind of sitting back. I mean, both these teams are just playing extremely defensive, not really wanting to be the first to engage. And I mean, hopefully we won't just have like a little bit of a stalemate here. I mean, they're going to have to engage eventually.
Yeah, this is going to be 15 minutes of this, guys. No, I'm just joking, of course. But, maybe they're talking a little bit more about strat. Exactly. Oh, I guess it's a disconnect. That Priest is standing at the corner.
Okay, so maybe the Priest just did walk into the wall there and DC. I'm not exactly sure. Hopefully he can just hop back online really quickly. But I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. Yeah, he isn't moving, so I think the Priest has disconnected. Maybe we can get an admin over there and check what's going out, because I think we're probably going to have a restart at this point.
Yeah, most likely. There is a Howl of Terror, and I think they're just going to kill the Priest.
Yeah, we're just going to have a restart, though. The Priest DC before anything even happens, so I think we'll just probably leave this game, get it going again, and have that done for you guys pretty quickly. If we can just have an admin tell them just restart.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should commentate until they actually leave, nonetheless. So you can already see that the Death Knight of Intagion is down to 50% health. This Bluckstack Warlock is doing great spread pressure at this point. Everybody's relatively low. The Priest is at 81% though. And look at this Ret. He's going to be doing a lot of damage here. I feel the cooldown's ready to be popped. He's got the Guardian. There's a Gargoyle out for the Death Knight on his team. They're going to be hitting Botar. Botar already down to 29k HP. Wow, he dipped so low there. He already had to drop that Link because he's just taking so much damage. He's going to try and Ghost Wolf away, but look at the pressure coming from this double Shaman lock team. Our Ret is at 52% health, getting tunneled into by the enhancement, but oh, nice grip or port away. A grip in onto that Resto Shaman. That's going to prevent some of his healing. Some really big numbers.
They're splitting here, man, and this Warlock has nothing left. He might actually just die here. He's at 3k HP, and he's just dipping so low. Can the Shaman top him off? 4k HP. The NS comes in just in time, but he's still tapped on mana. He needs to get them life taps off, and now catching a couple big heals there. We can see the Hex was coming out from Botar. He's able to fake that off kick from the DK, and Carva will go into that full Hex now. Intagion is in a lot of trouble. He's at 60%. There's Hexes out on both the Priest and the Pally. Terror going to fall that up. We need to see the Wog coming in here on Intagion, as he is very low, and the Wog does land. Another heal coming in from that Priest as well. Botar drinking over there at about 30 AK mana. Will be getting a lot back. He's actually going to be standing up very quickly because his Warlock is down quite low, and I'm not sure if the Warlock actually moved his portal at all, because if he ports now, he's going to be on the opposite side of the arena.
Yeah, that would not be a good situation at all. You can see the cooldowns for the Ret. He still has about every cooldown available that he needs. No Trinket. Repentance is coming back up in just a moment, so they can definitely get some big pressure going at that point. Hodge is ready as well. We need to see them swap over onto this Resto Shaman, and that's what they're doing at this point. A full Hex onto the Ret. He does have full dots. It's going to break just here. The DK's in so much trouble. He's going to click a bop onto him, but his Death Knight will end up falling no matter what. Yeah, that's a little unfortunate.
We're going to have to see exactly what the admins are going to say about that game, because it was pretty big advantage given to that double Shaman Warlock team who did start while the Priest was offline. So I think we should just have a restart. I mean, he DC'd before the game even started, and we did say that.
Yeah.
So hopefully we will just get a reset really quickly. But I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen, because if that does count. I mean, what do you think?
I'm not sure. I don't think it'll count because the Warlock was able to like run in there, howl everybody,
Yeah, and
no
get
one
full
did
dots
anything.
up and everything.
The Red kind of stood around for a little bit.
Yeah.
So we will have to see. Yeah, you can see they're talking to the admins now.
Yeah, they're going to get that sorted out pretty quickly, but I think it will be a restart. We will just wait for the official decision there, but it is, so far, it is a 1-0 lead for that Ret DK Priest. They are up one game after that first game. That second one, I think, will be replayed. But, you know, the Ret DK Priest did fall that game. Obviously, they did recover, but, you know, PS was used instantly and stuff, so it's hard to tell how that game would have really ended if it would have gone the same way had that start not been so uneven. Regardless, we do see that the admins are chatting with these teams right now, trying to sort that all out, and hopefully we can get that sorted out pretty quickly, and we will hop into the next game. Obviously, this is the first round of this double elimination bracket tournament, so you do not want to fall down to the lower bracket right out of the first round. It's going to put you in such a tough position. Obviously, you can work your way down through the lower bracket all the way back up and make it to the grand final, still get that first place prize. Obviously, top two is really what teams are aiming for, though, because two teams are going to be going to the world finals in China.
Yeah, I would love to be one of those players at this point to just... actually, if I could be any player right now, I'd like to be on a Ret DK Priest team because I would feel so confident going into this. Everyone was so afraid of him. I'd feel like I had a good shot at China, and China seems like it would be so cool at this point to be able to go to. Obviously, they were flown out to here, depending on where they were.
Yeah.
And there were actually an RLS that was here. They all live in Germany, so they drove for like 20 minutes and they made it to the venue just on time and stuff. But
yeah, not bad. You know what I mean? There's advantages and disadvantages. Obviously, it's cool to go somewhere new, but at the same time, if you're going really far, you can have jet lag, you can be more tired, stressed out, whatever. But if you're like, you know, right here, you're used to living here, you're used to the area, then maybe you'll be a bit more comfortable. And sometimes playing at LAN tournaments, it's really just all about comfort and just who's going to make the least mistakes. And we have had the decision from the admins that that's actually going to count. So it will be 1-1, and we are going to be moving on into this third game.
yeah, I feel bad for this, the Ret DK Priest team. You know, maybe you feel a little bit bummed out, but I still think they have a really good shot here for sure. I don't want to count them out by any means. I mean, it's a tied ball game, and they took the first series.
Yep, so it's basically essentially just a best of three starting over now. They will be moving on into some of the maps that maybe they didn't want to play as much. Both teams will, because that is how this banning system works. Obviously, each teams are going to rotate back and forth, banning a map. The first map to be banned will be the last one played, and so on and so forth. So we go basically backwards through the bans. And we will rotate through all 5 maps if it does go the distance. It is going to be best of 5 series here, double elimination format. The top 8 teams from Europe were invited. They invited 8 captains, and then those captains were then allowed to choose their teams. And here we are.
All right, big question, Evil Geniuses Azale. Which map do you think it is based on how map picks would go if you were in here?
Oh, I mean, it's so hard to tell because each team, each player really has their own personal opinion on what it gives them the best advantage, what is the hardest map for them. I think we could see Blades. I think that, no, it's going to be Runes. So we are going to be hopping now into this. We're going to be following Carva out once again. And it is going to be Runes of Lordaeron. We're going to have him charging in immediately, I think, on this one. But will they just sit back at the tomb again?
Yeah.
Nope,
well,
here they go.
Yeah, you can see them already. Looks like they want to start off onto the Warlock. Botar is on the focus for this Red Paladin. That's going to mean he's going to have to juke focus rebukes, he's going to have to say focus repents, all that kind of stuff. But that was a nice howl.
There was already a hex on the priest at the same time, so nothing was able to be dispelled. I'm not sure if he did trinket that, but we can see PI up for the priest there. They're going to swap over onto the shaman here immediately. The gargoyle does come out. Wings is going to be popped as he goes in that Hodge. He has to trinket that fear, and they're going to be putting a ton of damage out onto Botar. But nice peel so far on this Ret Paladin. He's actually going to get life grip. Nice life grip there by the priest right onto the Botar, and Botar is going to be taking a lot of damage, but at the same time, Antagian is down very low. A big wall comes out from that Ret, but he's at 20k HP. He has to link, and now the link is gone. I'm not sure if he still has NS, but we see so much pressure being put on the shaman at the same time. The DK down about 50% HP.
It's not a good start for you to be playing with a shaman healer and have to link that early. Look at him. He's stuck in a full string lead at this point, down to 55k HP. Those Red Paladin is going to be able to connect just now. Another full hex onto that priest. He's going to have to sit that full. A Red Paladin will end up bubbling, and that's because he just doesn't want to be peeled off. He wants to be able to go full offensive. No holy power on him at this point, so he won't be able to throw a big wog onto his DK if he has to.
Yeah, but no interrupts coming out right there on the G heal, and then a full hex onto the Ret, just cast both by the Resto Shaman, and that could be huge, but he is taking a lot of pressure. We can see Necro stacking up. Botar down about 60% HP. Will he get interrupted on that? The AMS has been popped by this DK. So much damage coming in here onto Botar. He's down about 60k. Carva dude at the same time is going to be in a lot of trouble at 30% HP. We can see a full fear, actually a short fear onto the Priest, but can he top him back up because he's at 27%. He's taking a lot of damage here. He just needs to get big heals from the Priest right now.
Yeah, still at 18%. He looks like he may very well go down here. He catches a nice power word shield. There's no grip available for him to pull him out of line of sight, though. He does walk himself. But look at his DK. His DK is at 50% health now. He's probably going to have to start Lichborn healing. But there's going to be a Death Quill onto his Priest. His Priest won't be able to cast, and his Death Knight will fall.
Yeah, and so that's going to be a 2-1 lead for that double Shaman Warlock team. And now this Red DK Priest looking like they're in some trouble. They are going to be down 2-1, and that puts it at match point for this double Shaman Warlock team. And I mean, what do you think they have to really do differently here?
Well, I think if I were this Red DK Priest team, I would do the good old strat of tunneling harder. But, you know, press your buttons a little bit harder. Maybe you'll get the global cooldown shortened just a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. But realistically, if I were them, I would be hitting the Warlock just a little bit more. They're hitting the Shaman. They're forcing cooldowns out of him. But we saw in the second game on the Grand, they actually got the Warlock to something like 1%. He was incredibly low on health, and just a little bit better RNG, he might have actually fallen.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see them hit him. It'll prevent him from getting near the pressure he's currently getting.
Yeah.
So I think that would just
maybe
be
able to shut down some of those fears onto his Priest as well. But the thing is, there's so many hexes to deal with 2 hexes coming out. If you let the rest of Shaman get free and get those hexes off, it could be pretty bad. But I mean, I think that the one real mistake was we saw no interrupts used on a G heal, full G heal cast by the rest of Shaman, followed up by a full hex, and he was at about 80k HP. So if he was interrupted on either one of those, I feel like he really could have gone down. But I guess they were just expecting a bit of a fake, didn't want to go for it, and they're really going to pay the price. But a bit of an update here, we have microcity.be did take down Eat Nerds, Get Birds, so that is Kuna's RLS with a 3-0 win over that Ret Warrior Shaman team. And that is a pretty convincing start to the tournament. That is my pick to win the tournament, honestly. They're off to a very, very strong start.
Yeah, they're my pick as well. You guys can follow us on Twitter. I am at ConradNAO, and he is at EG Azael.
Well, they can see that right down below us. So, yeah. So you guys can just, you can see that right down here. But anyway, guys, we are here at Gamescom, in Cologne, Germany. And we are going to be hopping into the next game here very shortly. We're at match point right now. And Conrad, how are you enjoying your time here so far? This is your first live event that you've commentated.
Yes, it is my first live event that I've commentated. First live event I attended was actually the WCG. You were there too for moral support. And we will be following Carva, by the way, when we come out of the gates. And I like following Carva because I feel like when you're playing a Red Paladin, you have to be aware of just about everything. And Carva's UI is very nice for that. He's got his, I think it's right here, his little unit frames right here, his team unit frames right here, and then like arena unit frames right here. How cool is that we have the preview screen?
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Maybe we can follow the enhancement Shaman in this game, though. Mix things up a little bit. Obviously, he's a pretty big target, I guess, this game. As far as just you can see a lot of what's going to be going on based on what he's doing. He's really going to be the one putting out the main pressure from their team. Obviously, the Warlock's going to be focusing more on spreading the dots, getting CC, whereas he's going to be the one that kind of dictates who their kill target is. He's also throwing out hexes. He's throwing out heals defensively. So I think it really does come down a lot to how Swapsy is going to be playing on that enhancement Shaman.
Yeah, and I want to note the Warlock is actually playing pretty well. He's doing great spread pressure. We saw the red get incredibly low. We thought maybe he would die. He ran behind the Ruins of Lordaeron Tomb to get picked up, and then his Death Knight was dead. And that's because the Warlock had great spread pressure from the start, and then eventually the enhancement Shaman just picks who he wants to hit, and that's who ended up falling. So this team's doing a great job so far. I'm excited to have them here at this tournament. It's such a weird setup to be playing double Shaman lock, but and I know a lot of people think it might be a little bit face roll. I think it's fair to say it's a little bit of both. When you're fighting a Red DK Priest, it's not nearly as easy as when you're playing against a caster team. So they're playing very well.
Yeah, it totally depends. But we are moving into the match. We're going to be, let's follow that enhancement Shaman out. So let's swap over to Swapsy, see how he's going to be handling it here. As his team is up at match point. They're up 2-1, so we can swap over to that enhancement Shaman as fast as we can. But Carva for now will be coming out here. He's going to be starting on the Warlock. It looks like that's going to be the target that they want to train for now, and that's exactly what you said they should do. The DK is taking some pressure. They're going to be putting out a lot of damage, though, onto this Warlock, who is, just kind of hopping around right now, just throwing out some Fell Flames and stuff, not really feeling comfortable casting, but a lot of damage actually bursted in there onto Carva.
Yeah, that was a surprising amount of burst coming from this enhancement Warlock team. They don't really have too much burst, but it's interesting to note that Botar is just sitting behind that pillar, just trying to keep his teammates stopped. He's probably going to want to keep a Riptide on himself. No Earth Shield, a Riptide is on him. He's going to trinket that Riptide Earth Shield himself because he feels the swap coming onto him. Bluckstack currently trying to peel for his teammates.
But he jumped down the bottom. I think that was a mistake, man. He's going to be in some trouble here. Wings is going to have to be popped by Carva, probably heal himself up, and there's the Wings coming in. There's so much damage on Botar. He's stuck in the Ghoul stun at 50k HP. Will he be able to get that Link off? The Link does come down. They need to kill that, and so much damage is being put out here onto Botar. He's at 70%. He's at now into a Strang at 45k HP, 20k HP. Will he be able to live here? I'm not sure. He's down to 8k HP, barely catching one big heal there, but he's under way too much pressure. Botar will fall, and now we are all tied up 2-2.
2-2, man, that's pretty intense. I was not expecting this coming from this red DK Priest team at all. Well, I guess more I should say the Warlock Enhancement and Resto Shaman team. They're doing so well, and it looks like they might still be trying, but it's pretty much decided. There's no coming back from that. You have no healer on your team, and Warlocks kind of suck 2v3, so.
Yeah, Warlocks is a very strong class, but it does need its support. Without the healers, they're not so strong. They're not so good at surviving on their own because you kind of just have to tank the damage and then be able to heal through it. Not so good at kiting like a mage or a rogue or whatever, and who can sustain themselves a lot better. But obviously, it is now tied up. We're going to be going into that first banned map, which will be the last map played, and it's all tied up 2-2. So whoever does take this will take this series and be able to move on. And whoever loses is going to be forced to go down to the lower bracket. I'm not sure exactly who they will play, but I mean, there's so many good teams in this tournament. Being forced to the lower bracket this early means you're going to have such a tough road ahead of you. And also, even if you make it all the way to the grand finals, then you're at a disadvantage going into that grand finals. You usually have to win 2 straight series as opposed to just the one, or sometimes they do use an extended series, but I'm guessing it's just going to be 2 straight series that they have to be able to take down that team who makes it from the upper bracket.
Yeah, so last commercial break, we saw that Mists of Pandaria trailer. What were your thoughts on that, man?
It's pretty badass, I have to say. I'm pretty excited. I know Mists of Pandaria is coming out September 25th, if I do remember correctly, and I'm sure that I'll have that all downloaded and ready to go, and I'll be hopping on Mists of Pandaria, playing some of that. I think it should be pretty cool, and I think that Blizzard has a lot of neat ideas for Arena and for the game in general with that. So I'm pretty excited to try it out, and I think you probably are too.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited. I think Warlock actually looks a little too strong at this point, and as a person that likes to be competitive, I don't like that too much, but as a selfish player, I love that. I love the idea of just spreading dots everywhere with
maybe we shouldn't be saying they're too strong. Warlock's sucking them up. Let's get some buffs.
Yeah, they do not look strong at all. I think they need a little bit more burst, more defensives, all that kind of stuff.
Maybe they should get a bubble, be able to hamstring people. That'd be cool.
But I actually really like the trailer because most cinematics are pretty cool. Like the Cataclysm one, it had that whole Deathwing scene where he's, getting his armor and stuff, and I thought that was cool. But the Mist one, it actually had some action, a little bit of comedy when he's handing him the sword, or the little stick sword. So I like that. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was really well done. Obviously, the animation is pretty insane on it, and we are just waiting for the players to be ready, and then we're going to hop right back in this. It is a best of 5, guys. We're all tied up 2-2 here between these two teams. Their life is on the line. Obviously, first time at a tournament for a lot of these guys, so they're so nervous, maybe not playing exactly how they would feel. And I think it also does add some extra pressure to be had when you're being followed first person and everyone's watching you. Like thousands of people are watching you play first person at a tournament. If they make any mistakes, everyone's going to be analyzing it. Their friends are going to be watching it. So it's a lot of pressure, even more added pressure onto Carva and Swapsy. We're following out Carva here on Ring of Valor. This is going to be the last map of the series. We can see he wants to get right onto Botar, but instead it's going to settle to attack this Warlock at the start, who does already have Earthshield. Demon Soul has been popped. We can see the trinket immediately used there on that Priest as he was hexed. They're going to grip in Botar, and there's the Hodge. He's going to trinket that immediately. Gargoyle is up. They're just trying to do a lot of damage to this Resto Shaman, but Carva is already down to about 30k. He's going to be feared. He's taking a lot of damage right now, and he's going to have to be PS pop the wall defensively, actually, and he did pop his wings there too, so he has to get some damage out right now, otherwise they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and the Death Knight left and the Priest left, so I'm not too sure what that was. Maybe it was another
maybe a DC there, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but anyway, we are going to be just getting that fixed up, and we can move on into that game once again. It is going to be a Ring of Valor still. It's all going to be tied up.
Yeah, and, it will be a restart, So a little bit of an interesting start for that team. Like you said, they wanted to swap over or immediately hit Botar, the Resto Shaman, but they settled for the Warlock. And hitting the Warlock on Ring of Valor, it's a little bit of a toss-up. You can either connect with him for a great period of time and he'll be forced to port while the pillar's still down, or You swap over onto him, the pillar is up, and he ports away, and you don't touch him. You do have the DK that has a grip available, but there's grounding. There's also the fact that it might be on cooldown, and sometimes you just want to use grip to interrupt a heal.
Well, and a lot of times, honestly, they're going to use the grip to swap to the shaman, and that's exactly what they did that game. So I think starting on the warlock is fine. It's a good choice because if you can get Urshield swapped over onto the warlock and then swap the shaman, get a stun on him before you can get Urshield up on himself, you're 100% going to force that trinket immediately. Maybe be able to put him a little bit behind if you can get the strang rate on that trinket, things like that. So there are advantages to starting on that warlock, but they just have to be careful that they don't commit too much to him, fall too far behind if they want to go for that shaman swap on Botar. We saw that game, Wings was kind of forced defensively, but it's something you have to be careful about as the Ret Paladin. You really need to get a ton of damage out with your Wings because as soon as that's gone, as Guardian and Wings are gone, your damage is really kind of slowing down big time.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we saw at the start of that, when they did pull in Botar and swap onto him, he immediately trinketed, put Urshield on himself, riptided, and used Gift of the Naru.
Yep.
So immediately just so many cooldowns. And I think, this Warlock, the Red DK Priest team, they're going to know that. They're going to take that into consideration. If they swap to him, if they do the grip in and Hodge him, they assume he's probably going to trinket. So they might just end up swapping right back over onto the Warlock and throw the Shaman into a Repent while Urshield's on him. Because Urshield is so huge. It has to be the first global every single time you start to heal a new target. It increases all your healing done to him, and it has a little shield effect that gives you some health back. So
yep, yeah, it does exactly. It's so important. But we are live now. We can see the countdown well underway. This Ret Paladin is going to be followed out once again here on Ring of Valor. Going to be charging in. Who will be his first target? We can see that he does have that Shaman on focus. He will be starting on the Warlock here immediately, getting a nice proc there. There's a Halitair coming out. The Hex probably going to try to be put on the Priest, but he's actually LOSing it, so Hex is going to have to be put instead onto this Ret Paladin. A lot of damage coming out on the Warlock immediately, though. Can they get Botar gripped in and get a swap on him? Because right now he's so far away, but there's a grip. Hodge is probably going to come in. Yes, Hodge does come in immediately. He wants to pop Wings and everything, I think, but he's getting just spam feared off right now. Botar is going to be taking a lot of damage, though, as Wings goes up. Gargoyle is already up. Grounding goes down. He's taking so much damage, though. 80k HP. Gargoyle is connecting as well. He's down about 70k HP. There's a full fear onto that Priest. Botar is in some trouble. The defensive log with Wings used there by Carva.
Yeah, Botar still just trying to kite around that pillar. He's actually full on health for now, but there's not too much pressure coming out from this Warlock team. Botar looks like he may just fall here. He has to drop the Link. A good choice there is they're getting put so far behind. The Warlock puts a nice spear onto the Ret Paladin. He's going to have to sit that full. He doesn't have Trinket available. Repentance is ready, though, if they want to put.
But look at Botar. He gets full strength. He can't Trinket that. He has no Link and nothing available. I think he might just die here because that is a full 8-second strength. He does pop everything he has now. We can see that big heals coming in as well from that enhancement Shaman, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. The NS crits, and that will be enough to top him off for now. He's back in Ghost Wolf trying to get out of there as Carva is feared. We can see that Runcast Hex going out, but I think it was broken immediately, and they're going to be swapping over onto the Warlock. He does catch the Urshield. He ports out, but Carva is going to be forced to bubble as his Priest was in that full Hex. He's out of it now. He's topping him back up. The DK taking some pressure here as well. They're going to be going on Swapsy, that enhancement Shaman, and maybe we can swap over to his screen and see how he's doing because Intagion is taking a lot of damage from Swapsy right now, and another Hex goes out over onto that Priest, and the Paladin as well is down about 60%. The DK is at 50%. This Priest has a lot of work to do.
Check out how nicely this Warlock is spreading pressure. Full dots on the Red, full dots on the DK. This Red Paladin is taking so much damage at this point. There's another grip in onto Botar. He's just going to go swap out of there immediately, though. The DK is the only one that's in a little bit of trouble at this point. He does get picked up quite nicely. Let's see who this Red Paladin will decide to hit.
They're going to go back to Botar here. They need to get back to him, and are they going to be able to get Hodge? He's actually interrupted full on that Hex, and he could be in a lot of trouble immediately. The full Hodge does come in. This is their last chance to get a kill. He's down to 50k HP already. He catches a heal there from his enhancement Shaman. He's going for the Hex. I can't believe he's going for a Hex now at this point in the game. He's just not even healing himself at all. He's at 40k. The Hex does come in on the Priest, but it was broken immediately. We can see that Carva is down so low, and he needs to get back over to his Priest, get topped off. So we can see Botar going to be able to top himself off there. They're going to swap back to the Warlock, but he does have Portal available, and he's probably just going to get out of there immediately, and he does port.
Wings are available now at this point, so they can just pop them, go and hit that Resto Shaman quite hard, but their entire team looks so dead. The Ret Paladin is at 60%, the DK is at 32. Will he end up falling? Is there a wog available? I do not know.
He just used it on that DK actually, but the DK is still dangerously low, and there's the big heal coming in on that. A Rep Paladin, does he have wog available pretty soon here for the DK? He's going to need it. Sacrifice going in onto him. He's going to have to go for a big wog on Intagion, as he does have wings up. He could probably top him, but at the same time, they're going to swap right back to Carva, who's at 20%. He's going to have to actually wog himself there, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough because it is not that selfless healer buff. A Hodge going in on Botar. They're trying to get back to him, trying to get a kill here. This is maybe their last chance alive in this game. I'm not sure if Link is back available, but there's the Strand going in on Botar. He's at 50k HP. He's taking a ton of damage, but he is getting away, and Intagion is so low, and he needs to land that wog. He does get the wog off, but the Priest is hexed and feared, and I think Intagion is going to go down, and this double Shaman Warlock team will take the series 3-2.
Yeah, very nice job. Look at how happy they are, man, and very well they should be. Yeah, look at that. A nice sigh of relief. Double headset for that guy, just in case he really wants his teammates to know what's happening.
Yeah, you can see they are pumped up. So just being honest, going to take their first series, and Gold Member is going to be relegated to that Constellation bracket immediately. So they're going to have a lot of work to do. But we are going to throw it back to Red Eye at the main stage. No, actually, we are not. I lied. That was my mistake. But anyway, yeah, guys, it was a really close series. It was 3-2.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, we had the DC issue, but it did get cleared up. Didn't have any more issues for the rest of the series. And so far, it's actually been pretty interesting watching first person. This is something I'm definitely not used to, and it's definitely a lot different commentating it. But it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we have to look down for the wogs and the cooldowns and all that stuff. But we will be heading it over onto Red Eye at this point.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, another great game in the World of Warcraft European Invitational. We've got two teams already through to the semi-finals. Fantastic 3-2 win in that game, for just being honest. Next up, we'll have a battle in the lower bracket to try and bring you up to date with where they are. And of course, it's the last man standing in that group, because if they lose that final game, that is it. They're out of the tournament and they're going home. So big game to come up. Fantastic win for just being honest. And of course, they join Yas Presents in the semi-final. That'll be coming up a little bit later on. Okay, before we go any further, let's have a very, very quick interview with Azael with the winning team.
Hey man, so we are here at Gamescom for the European WoW Invitational Finals. You guys just took your first match. You look pretty happy. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm really happy because this lineup was actually really hard for us. And I had worries about losing this matchup because we would have faced a lineup which we don't really like.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an important win for you guys to have. You don't want to be going down lower bracket right in the first round. You guys are definitely a newer team. You know, do you think that you were pretty nervous at the start of this series?
Yeah. Well, I think we did the best job, and I think that we can win the next game really easily, because the next lineup we're going to meet is going to be our favorite one, what we wanted to face, so it's really good.
Yeah, well, I mean, what is it you think kind of changed? It seemed like at the start of the series you guys were under a lot more pressure, things like that, but later in the series you really seemed to take control. It wasn't really so dangerous early in the game. It seemed like you guys switched your CC maybe more over to the Ret. You know, the first game when you died very early, there was an early Hex that went out onto their Priest as opposed to the Ret, and it seemed like you guys changed that up, tried to CC the DPS more early. So was that like a conscious thing, or a strategy change, or what kind of was going on with that?
Basically, we always try to do a lot of pressure with the Hexes, especially against Red Decay Priest, because they have no Hex Dispel, obviously, and we have 2 of them. So that's 10 seconds to see every 35 seconds each Shaman. So it's 2 full-time CCs all the time, and if we use them the right way, we can do a lot of pressure with that.
All right, man. Well, I just want to give you a big congratulations and wish you the best of luck for the rest of the tournament. We're going to throw it back to Red Eye, guys, and we'll be right back.
The winners have got a habit of doing that, walking in front, but it's okay, we'll let them off. So they're safely through into the semi-final, and we've got more World of Warcraft action on the way, so don't go too far away. 1:30 local time, that's in about, I make that about 11 minutes. We'll be back with yet another game in the World of Warcraft. This time, it's the lower bracket game, and the loser goes home. Don't go far.